and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we are making a walnut olive pasta. And I've been busy making a ton of soups for the February soup recipe product, and so I'm actually going to do this as a raw recipe. Been having a little bit too much cooked food lately, so I need to get just a nice light raw meal in me. But you can very easily do this with cooked pasta as well, or you can follow my directions and cook the vegetable pasta that I'm going to eat raw. So we'll get started with the pasta, which I'm going to take a rutabaga, which before I peel it, look like this, and I'm going to spiralize it, which makes it into long skinny noodles, which I'm then going to toss with an orange olive oil dressing, some olives, and some walnuts. Very simple, but it's going to be so delicious. So let me show you first how to spiralize this rutabaga. So this is my spiralizer here. You can see it's got a glass bowl at the bottom to catch the food. It's got a blade and a slicer here to make the noodles, and then it just presses down on the vegetable here, and then I twist it with this. I originally got this machine when Phil and I were eating all raw food, and we did that because when you eat the food raw, it keeps, most of the nutrients in it. Now in the winter, I do think that cooked food is good for you as well, because the nutrients, the fibers and things get broken down so that the nutrients are more digestible by your body. And I think a balance of cooked and raw is good, especially in the winter. Your body wants to keep itself warm, so it wants a little bit more cooked food. But every so often, raw food is fantastic. It makes me feel really nice and light. And I'll just show you a close-up. There's what a rutabaga looks before it's peeled. It has kind of a purple top. It's in the same family as the turnip, so it looks slightly like that. I like to use it for these noodles because it has a really nice dense texture, but it has a very mild flavor. A lot of people will use zucchini, which I find a little bit too mushy and watery for my taste, or they'll use daikon radish, which I find a bit too radish-like. So this spiralizer, a lot of people have trouble with it, and the reason is because they don't look into how to use it. So what you want to do is get your vegetables sliced so that the edges are parallel. See how my fingers are parallel on the edges? I'm going to put one on the bottom, put it right down there, and then get the top stuck in there as well. Now you can only go and make this so long. So if you have a really long daikon radish or carrot or something, you'll have to cut it to the certain length. But the key is to have the top and the bottom parallel, otherwise it's not going to work properly. And then all you do is spin it. And I'll just show you, you can see these beautiful noodles coming out the end. So I'm going to eat these raw. You can very easily, if you have a spiralizer, make the noodles and then cook them very lightly. You could steam them or you could boil them just for a few minutes. Or this recipe is also lovely if you have an angel hair whole grain pasta or a rice pasta or something like that. Definitely use a whole grain. If you use a white pasta, it has no nutrition left. So please use whole grains. That's the only way to eat them healthy. And I'm going to enjoy my vegetable pasta. So there is my finished spiralized rutabaga, and if you are cooking a grain pasta, then you would just cook it on its own, and we're going to dump it right in the bowl. I used 2 rutabagas there, and you can see that it made quite a lot of noodles. And actually these ones are really long. I usually chop these up a little bit before serving them. I have also chopped up back here some olives. Olives in their fatty, salty deliciousness are going to add quite a lot of flavor to this dish. And I used the kind that have a pit because I haven't been able to find a good olive that's pitted. They usually come with all kinds of preservatives when they come canned, And I don't know what they put in the ones that they sell at the deli, so I've been buying jarred olives that have, you know, just olives and the pickling liquid on the ingredients. But if anyone has any ideas on a good source of olives, I would be keen to know. The other thing I'm going to put in here are some walnuts, another nice fat, and you can just crunch them up with your hands as you throw them in. Some of these are bigger than others. And just add, you know, as many as you feel is necessary for your dish. Then what I'm going to do is make a dressing for this. And what I'm going to do for that is take an orange. And the first thing I'm going to do is get the zest off. I never like to waste the zest. And I've said many times before, but you can also grate the skin of the orange if you wish, just don't go past the white part. But a zester is only a few dollars. If you go to your local thrift store, you can probably find one for $1 or $2. And they're so handy and fun. Then what I'm going to do is chop this orange in half. Ooh, and it's a bit of a red orange. And then just shove my zester in there and squeeze the juice out. I'm squeezing it over a strainer so that I avoid having to chase after the seeds, which is what I usually do. I'm using this orange in the dressing in place of vinegar. Because it's a raw one, and I've had a bit of vinegar lately, I wanted to do something a little bit sweeter and a little bit more mild. It also will allow the olives and the walnuts to be the star of this dish, rather than overwhelming my mouth with vinegar flavor. Once you get the juice out of your orange and you've got the zest in there as well, you're going to add olive oil to finish off this dressing, and what you're going to add is half as much orange juice as you have here. So I haven't given specific measurements because some people's oranges are different sizes than others. And if you use half as much olive oil as orange juice, you will get a lovely dressing. And then I'm just going to add a pinch of salt to bring the two together. Otherwise, they won't really merge. They'll just be olive oil and orange juice separated. Once that gets really bonded together, then I'm just going to pour it over my pasta. Don't leave any zest behind. Valuable stuff. Then give it a toss. Mix those olives right in there. Get the walnuts in there too. They tend to stick to the bottom of the bowl, being heavier. And there you go, you've got a beautiful pasta salad. Lovely raw vegetable noodles or cooked whole grain pasta. Either is delicious. I'm gonna serve that with some sunflower seed cheese that I made. If you want to see the recipe, I made it also in the red wine lentil salad recipe. There you go. This would be great served over some greens on its own, maybe with a soup, maybe with some bruschetta. The possibilities are endless. Thought I would show you my finished product with just a little bit of sunflower seed cheese on top. And also thought I would mention that this pasta salad is also excellent if you leave it to sit for a few hours and let the dressing seep into the pasta, whether vegetable or grain. Either way, if you let it sit for a little bit, delicious.